Welcome to Apex Esports League. I'm JT. Tonight we're live on Project Cars 2 and we're up for round 4 of the Pagnian Imports V8 Supercar Championship, and that sees us at Circuit of the Americas National. So it's going to be some fantastic racing scene tonight. We'll take a look at the session that's up. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying. Weather will be light cloud, then the race is 17 laps around Kota. Weather will be medium cloud through to heavy cloud, and there is a mandatory pit requirement. Our championship leader after the third round is Taijo, sitting on 416 points, and those standings all the way through very tight. And we've seen a change in championship lead as of the previous round. And last week we were at Long Beach Street Circuit and we saw a clean sweep taken by Taijo, setting that pole position, taking the win and securing those extra bonus points for the fastest lap of the race. And looking at the track, so in the USA for Circuit of the Americas, track length is 3.7 kilometers long in this variation. There's 17 turns. It is very different compared to the international and GP circuits, and it's going to be some great fun in these V8 supercars around Kota. Now, trackside. 12 drivers loaded into the session at the moment. Drivers scrambling out on the track. Like Philly's first one to get moving. Looks like Mick and Taijo battling to get out of that pit exit. If you're joining us for the stream, jump in the chat, say hello. If you are new to the stream, if you haven't done so, hit that follow button. We appreciate support. We're trying to reach that next milestone of 300 followers on Twitch. And by following your bells, to then be notified when we go live. So we're here on Thursday nights for Project Cars 2 and iRacing on Monday nights. Going to be some fantastic racing tonight, and then be all set for an awesome week to wrap up the 2022 season next week. So the second last race for Project Cars 2 for the year. We've got Weira in the session. About to come on to his first timed lap. We've got the head farmer. And Sami had the championship lead taken after last week's race. After getting caught up in incident in turn 1 and seeing him drop down to the back of the pack. And having to try and recover a lot of positions afterwards, and managed to see that championship lead taken away to Rooney. Simzel. Showing some damage. I don't think he's brought the car back in the pits. Might have been a little bit of lag going on. And we had Taijo and Mick trying to get out of the pits at the same time. Can get a little bit of visual lag. We've got the Pretender. T-Rex somewhere underneath the grandstand. There he is. He's making his way out now. Dirty Monkey. Our championship leader Taijo, first time's coming through now. Taijo sets pole, it's a 126. to DK. We're going to come through second quickest, sitting on 128.3. A few laps being invalidated. Rooney and Dirty Monkey validating their laps. Not sure if that may have been some contact if they just went off at the same time. Jump on board for a lap with Rooney. Nice, long, very fast pit straight into a very sharp left-hander. The curbs very cautious of. All the exit lines are off camber on that section of track, easy to spool the car. And down through the S's. Almost be a little bit mesmerising. Just got the chicane into a hairpin. The variation we would normally scoot off towards the other lane. And several hairpins snaking their way down through sector 2. Fast double apex right-hander. Another one, very long corner, can easily catch you off guard. Getting a very tidy line for they can get a lot of mid-corner speed for a great opportunity to pass. Trying to get as much of that inside curb for that corner. Very slippery through that last turn at turn 17. That's a timed lap getting in of 1:27.480 for Rooney. Just set him into position 3. Hey Steph, good, how are you? Thanks for jumping on. IJ, only driver to just get into a 126. Actually, he's almost balking coming through that final turn. I don't think he's going to have good, unless he was having to abide by a slowdown. He wouldn't have been getting a very good run into that corner, so this lap's not going to be up for a good improvement on his time. So it's just under 3 tenths separating Taijo and Sami. You know, let Sami quickly slip through there. All drivers getting a qualifying time in. 6.1 second gap between the 12 drivers. At the halfway point for qualifying. Track temperature is likely going to be rather warm at this stage. Billy sliding that car through. Yes, Billy definitely has the tail wagging. And it's going to be one of the quickest ways to get the Supercar through some of these more technical, fast corners the Circuit of the Americas. And that's going to greatly affect the tyre wear. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do for their pit strategies. Not getting a whole lot of movement in drivers' qualifying times. Vera doesn't need to shave much off before he can steal away third position. He's only a couple of hundredths away from Rooney's time. Getting a good run in behind T-Rex. He might be able to use advantage here for some slipstream. He's not caught up yet. But he did start this lap a little bit of slower pace. Rooney gets loose for turn 17. No improvement for time there for Tyjo, but he's going to be having a great start to the lap here. He's got that good run on and that bit of slipstream from the car ahead. Rooney's lap will be a little bit off pace after getting loose through that corner. That's done this lap a little bit too much for his slide. Parks it up next to the wall. He's 1.8 seconds away. Movement in best times yet. Oh, where is his stolen pole? 1:26.941. That's 0.051, quicker than Tyjo's time. I'm not sure if that was a little bit of a lag spike we just saw for Wirra. That would be a devastating outcome if there's any connection issues going on for Wirra now. Only 4 minutes left of the session and it's stealing pole. Would reset his attempt and have to start again. Tyjo's taken back that pole on that lap. Only 2 attempts. Parks up the car. Will he come back out on track to try and improve on that? There's not too much opportunity now. There's only about 2 laps left in the session. Yeah, Vera's quickly getting out on track. Determined to get that pole back. Well, it could just very well come down to a bit of timing, getting behind the car at that right moment. Get a great run on that straight. Sami is trying to keep a grip to Tyjo's lead on the championship. You have to try and at least get as close as he can to Tyjo in positions here. Tyjo's just brought the car in. He is quicker getting back out. He will have another timed lap in it. There's 2 minutes 20 left on the clock. 5.7 second gap now. It was 6.1 originally. That's even with the improvements on these pole times. So all drivers getting quicker and quicker. Oh, DK gets loose. If he throws this lap, he can just hopefully not take damage if that's done for his qualifying session. Have enough time to get the car out of the pits and around across that control line before the timer hits 0. lot of fun throwing the tail around in this car. Pretty much oversteers, going to cost him a bit of time. Seconds are going dirty, he's just on approach now. One more lap to go. Sure is a good track for that loose rear. The track really is made to be able to take some pretty sharp corners. Simmons having some dramas. Well, looks like he's been caught up with someone. I think, not sure whose car that is. I think it may have been the head farmer. There's qualifying complete, final laps now. Pagnian currently holds pole at 126.7. They're trying to claim that pole back. He's having some dramas, or he's turned himself around. Reverse his way across. See what the AI does when he crosses the line. Maybe some dramas. Let's roll the car back in. And Mick improve his time, he's got 127.520. No movement on time. Photo's complete. Can Wira take pole in the final lap? No movement in time. Okay, he's got some heavy damage. Fender's practicing a pit entry. Simel go for a roll across the line for us if he can. Oh, he might have just enough time to do it as well. Always able to give us a good little crash across that control line right on the timer. And there we have qualifying for round 4. We see Taijo take pole position, sitting at 126.071. The rest of the grid is then Wira, Sami, Rooney, DK, Mickliffe, Philly Manili, Head Farmer, Dirty Monkey, The Pretender, T-Rex, and Simo Simsel. Over to the grid now. Drivers need to get their cars set up for the race. It's full custom setups. Be interesting what the drivers are choosing to do for their tyre compounds, whether they're going those soft or hard tyres. Maybe a mixture of the two. Track temperatures likely be able to be reasonably sticky with the hards in the rear, and then they'll be able to afford that a bit of rear slide around Coda. Coda is definitely one of those tracks that drivers absolutely love or they completely despise. At the times these drivers have been doing is very tight. Going to be in for a good race. They're going to keep these standings just as tight as they are, especially exciting to then bring us into the final round next week with the double points up for grabs. Oh, the driver's hitting ready well and truly early. So they are eager to get going. And green light. Good start for Taijo. Sami got a little loose in the rear off the start, but he's taken that inside line. Will he get advantage here? Where it was positioning up, but Rooney stuck himself in between the two. Sami then being offline, having to yield a little bit, so it was a good force position for Rooney. He's gotten loose, door to door. He's still trying to save that car. Nearly taking out Sami and then essentially possibly the pack before or behind them. Mick's just got loose too. Very lucky. Rooney got that car back under control and on track, so he hasn't lost a whole lot of time in that. Sami's already copped a post-race time penalty. Timo as well. Thinks the cars are getting a little side by side for some of the corners. I've just gone across those lines. Taijo's got 2-second lead. On the pits, he's taken some damage. He's up in 4th position. Sitting nicely ahead of Mick for the time being. The opening lap, he was a little bit quicker, and Mick did get a little bit taily around the time we saw Rooney go off for the spin. And this is a long stop for Simo, so damage appears to be much worse than what was actually looking. Probably been some suspension damage that's gone on. He goes for an outside line as he moves up onto the head farmer. Taijo now pulling ahead very quickly. Sami seems to be closing in a bit on where, but not a whole lot. The previous lap, the time's 28.479 and a .443. There could be also a possibility that Sami's got a little bit of damage on that side hit. Himself and Rooney. A lot of drivers are getting post-race time penalties as the red number appears on the standings chart. Means they've got a post-race time penalty. So either even once they've sped in pit lane, or if they've exceeded track limits and not abided by race director's request for them to slow down. DK only just getting enough slipstream to get close to the tail at the end of that corner. He's not able to put himself in a position to try and probe for an opening. And it looks like Head Farmer is pulling away as he gets through that corner. Mick seeming to carry a bit more pace than Philly at this stage. Getting closer to the tail of Philly over the course of this lap. Pagnian and Wira closing in. They seem to be teetering on that gap. Moves an inside line, try and break that slipstream right at the end of the straight. That's going to be putting him in a much slower approach through the corner. I think that's definitely cost him. Mistake made by Head Farmer. DK has gotten past, made a fair bit of a gap, and now Rooney sitting right on his tail. Oh, Rooney goes for a slide. Good thing about Coda, there is plenty of space before you end up finding a wall. Mick is getting a run for the turn. Positions nicely. Running past there by Mick, that moves him up into P4. 9.7 seconds away from race lead. Got about 4 seconds till he catches up to P3. Current pace. Nick's just had a mistake. He's just lost a few spots. DK's going to get him here as well. No, he manages to hold on. Good save by Mick, gets that momentum back. Usually a slip can really get you right out of your rhythm. And those next few corners are going to be all sorts of dramas. Like a big amount of oversteer for Head Farmer in the background. Didn't go off track. Hold off DK. DK started to veer across to the left. He was contemplating lining up for an inside line, similar to the pass that Mick did just before. Cars starting to bunch up a little bit, getting a bit of pace on them. Philly's last that was at 1:30. 30's only a couple of seconds behind. Nick and DK sitting on each other's tail. And they are Both closing in on Dirty. Looks like a little error by DK's in that previous corner. After that hefty repair, currently a lap down. Sami moves up into P2 as Wira comes into the pits. Yeah, on approach to pretty much the halfway point. Hydro's got a solid lead. Only leading by 9 seconds. Taking pole, flying out ahead. It has not been slowed down one bit. And leading for those full 8 laps. Already going to be feeling a bit of pressure from Mick now. He's closed in very quickly over the course of this lap. Mick trying to hunt down Dirty Monkey. Both Dirty and Mick come into the pits. And so so close for position, they're going to be racing it out in pit lane here. Mick's in the box well ahead. If he can get a very quick pit here, could definitely come out ahead. Dirty's released. Big run over Mick, a longer stop. They're definitely taking on tyres. Drivers can just come in, have the car lifted and released. Don't have to have anything done. Coda is rather abusive on tyres. Especially with just how quick these guys are putting these cars around. Take a quick look at the timing to see what these post-race time penalties and tyre Joe's coming into pits now as well. He's just had a drama. 2 seconds to Sami, 1 to DK. There's 2 seconds also to Head Farmer. Rudy's copped full 4 seconds and Simo 5 seconds. Sami also coming in. Billy pitting in. Would be assuming, now we're past the halfway point, their tyres are going to be very well cooked at this stage. Not often we see a whole leading pack all turn off into the pits at the same time. Head Farmer charges on. And puts him into the lead. He will need to come in for a stop. That's only going to be a couple of seconds that Ty Joe's behind. And we're up. Get in very early on compared to the others. Not quite the halfway margin. With that slightly earlier stop, a little bit of a disadvantage for Wira. Could he start being a little bit skatey towards the end? of spacing going on now. Joe, that 8-second gap between himself and Wirra. Was pushing out that margin much more. Wirra's made up a bit of time from that earlier pit. Will he be able to really hone in and close down Taijo over these next 6 laps? Wirra needing to try and chase a few more points after being tangled up in the incident at turn 1 last week as well. He came out a lot better than what Sami did. And this pace that DK is putting on behind Head Farmer is quickly closed in. Head Farmer's just come out of the pits as well, so there's usually a drop in tyre temp. That first lap back out is always a little bit sketchy. DK goes for an outside line pass. Rooney's also coming to join in. Head Farmer will be able to hold off. Oh, a bit of pressure forces Head Farmer out onto the concrete. He's going to have to make sure he puts a good gap between any car he passes. So he's got that 5-second time penalty at the end of the race. And Dirty may be able to get their face off here. They were closing in pretty quick before they came down in the pits. And Dirty got away much quicker out of the pits than Mick did. They'll be fighting it out on track very shortly by the looks of this. About to start lap 13 of 17. Taijo leading by nearly 12 seconds now. Position 2, we've got Wirra. Sami P3. Dirty Monkey P4, Mick P5 and hot on his tail. Oh, he's committing to a task. He's got to make sure he doesn't dive through. Was a risky pass to try and go for, but he pulled it off. P4's Mick, P5 now Dirty. Phillies P6. DK P7, Rooney in P8. Head Farmer's got P9 and Simo's back in the pits. He'd have to stop pretty early on and deal with damage. He's probably had to come in, swap out some tyres. I assume they won't be able to get through the race on a set we do set our races to accelerated tyre wear so they can try and simulate longer races. Meteor P10, 10 to P11. Yeah, it was only a quick stop for Simo. So he had to come in for a set of rubber. Simo in P12. It's 2 minutes 50 behind, so he's currently on lap 12, so 2 laps down. So that second stop. What really ended up costing him a lengthy repair. Otherwise he would have still been on that race lap. Three laps to go and nothing looking like it's stopping Taijo. 15.5 second lead over position 2 now. About a 60-point difference on the championship between P1 and P2. That's Taijo and Sami. Even if there's a couple of positions difference between Taijo and Sami tonight, coming into the final round for Bathurst, it's double points. It's 120 points for a win in the usual rounds, and then the final, that's a huge 240 points. And then also the fastest lap of the race doubled as well, so you can really shake things up coming into that final round. It's not going to be decided tonight. Only going to be if there was going to be some significant at-fault instance here, costing some big penalty points. That it would be actually a big gap. It's been a fantastic race so far. The final round being Bathurst, anything can happen. It does not take much for a tiny error to really wreck your race. Every little bit of points that you can secure tonight is going to help with that championship next week. Okay, trying to really in Philly. On lap 16, so there's only a couple of laps that Philly's going to try and keep DK at bay. A little mistake though, that's going to be big wide door opening for DK to get outside line pass. Philly's going to have to concede here. DK moves up to P6. They both have time penalties as well. There's 7 drivers that have got time penalties. So 6 drivers. That's half the field. Another slide for Rooney. He's had a few and then recovered back up nicely. Would have been having a pretty good run up towards the front if it wasn't for those slips. All drivers fairly well spaced now. There's about a second and a bit between T-Rex and Pretender. About the same between DK and Philly. It'd have to be a pretty significant mistake here from Taijo to lose the lead. He's got 25.5 seconds and climbing. We're on the final lap. Not many corners left in the race. Whereas a few seconds ahead of Sami. He's just lapped Simo and he's moving over to let Sami through. But Sami also wearing a post-race time penalty. Looks like Wira is actually taking it. It's a little easy. So he did have that slightly earlier stop, so it may be a little bit slippery. Taijo flashing the lights, he's happy here, crosses the line, take the checkers for round 4. Could this potentially be a clean sweep again as well? Well, nicely done there for Taijo, congratulations. Sami pushing a heap of pace on where I definitely think he's sliding. Oh, he's pushed too much. It's going to be a big opportunity here for Mick to take podium. This is going to hurt Sami trying to keep that gap. He's going to lose more positions here. He's got a post-race time penalty, but Dirty is wearing it as well. We see movement here. They hold their positions, so the penalty is enough to keep them at bay. But sneaking podium right at the end. A little bit of a too hard of a push for Sami in that final corner. Well done, Mick P3, Sami P4, Dirty P5, DK P6. Billy's come through in P7. Rooney smashes the car across the line to come home in 8th. 9th goes to the head farmer. Tarek's not too far behind. P10. Playing for Pretender. Simo's going to absolutely destroy this car across the line. There we go, you can always roll it across. That's spectacular, well done there, Simo. And then we have round 4 done and dusted at Circuit of the Americas. Taijo takes the win. And is it a clean sweep? I think with 126 lap time is definitely cemented that. Yes, a clean sweep for Taijo. So well done to Taijo. Podium P2, Wira and Mick Cliff in P3. The rest of the standings then Sami, Dirty, DK, Philly, Rooney, Head Farmer, T-Rex, Pretender, Simo in 12th. So adding our drivers in now. Taijo, Wira and Mick will be in here in a moment. Nice time penalties. You can see there for Sami, Dirty saving Sami with Dirty having 4 seconds on him. And congratulations, guys.
Yeah, thanks, JT.
Nice finish in P2 there, Wira.
Am I still not quick enough?
Yeah, there's a huge gap in there from Taijo. Nothing was stopping you tonight. 32 second gap, so that's huge.
Yeah, felt really good with the car somehow. Just upped the downforce a bit because I felt quite loose in qualifying, so it seemed to work quite a charm. And yeah, just felt confident all around. Just was able to attack every single lap. So yeah.
Yeah, the car really seemed to stick where a lot of the cars seemed a lot taily, and then especially if you're doing on the controller and to be sticking like it is, yeah, you could really see.
I just grabbed the world record setup.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's it.
That helps then.
Yeah, I do that every time.
And we got Mick. Congrats, Mick, on the podium. Feeling that on the last corner. That's the way.
But I didn't think I'd have him. He still had me covered.
Yeah, he was pushing too hard trying to chase Wira in that last corner.
Yep.
cost him the spot.
He's struggling on tyres, he said, and yeah, so was I a little bit, but I changed tyres, so I was going alright.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was struggling for tyres, mate. I actually slowed down, mate. I thought, someone was going to come up side by side, mate, and we'll just do a nice little 2-3, mate, and then I look up in the mirrors, mate, and same is gone, mate. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought you were
Yeah,
starting
I
to
took
slow
it
down.
easy
'Cause
and
you pitted a little bit early. And I was like, oh, that might be a little bit icy towards the back end.
yeah, it was a bit
Yeah.
costly. Look, I started on the wrong pressures, so that sort of cost me from the get
Yes.
go. I really had just nothing underneath me tonight, so it was a very slippery car, and I sort of paid the price for it. But look, happy with second.
Yep, can't complain. Second, still a good run.
yeah,
100%.
too good. We're up. Tojo,
Yeah, thanks,
flying.
Mickey. Well done, Mick.
Yeah, thank you. Well done.
Yeah,
Well done,
cheers.
everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I took it easy in my second stint at the start of it to save tyres a bit.
Yeah, the second stint, the grip's going to be faster because the clouds look like.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to rain.
Yeah, the track
yeah.
temp's pretty warm out there.
In the second stint, it got a bit colder, so the track. So yeah, the car went a little bit faster, which was nice. So yeah, the grip was quite stable in the second stint.
Looked like they were going pretty good. We're seeing some more battles going on towards that second stint. It was interesting seeing us all peel off into the pits at the same time too.
Yeah, that was
Whole procession of
funny.
his going in there.
Yeah, lap 9 seemed to be the optimal time.
You don't usually see that, but it was great to see us all get out.
Yeah, I didn't know where I was going to end up then.
Yeah, so you're racing dirty pretty hard just before coming in, and it looked like you might have had a slightly longer stop too when you.
Yeah, I don't know why. He might have just changed fronts or something. I changed it all 4.
Yeah, it could have been the difference, I think, but then he made up for it and powered on through to take the podium, so well done.
Yep, cheers. Cheers, JT.
And it's
Have
going
a
to
good
be
race. Have a
very
good
tight
series.
for the standings now. There'll probably be a bit of movement, I think, too. With Sammy being spaced out a bit, so... might be-
Yeah, I don't know if he got 4th or 5th. But he might be
got
down a little bit.
fourth. Yeah, so
Yeah.
might drop in the standings, but it'll definitely be the decider next week. So it'll be anyone's race.
Oh, yeah.
Can't wait, JT.
No one's got a clear win.
No.
So it'll be good to see us duke it out over the mountain next week.
Yeah,
Can't
it'll
wait.
be
Looking
on.
forward to it.
Yeah, congrats, guys.
Yeah,
Thank
well
you,
done,
JT.
Tojo. Well done, Mick.
Yeah, well
Yeah,
done,
well done.
fellas.
Thanks, JT.
No worries, mate. Then we have our podium finishes with Taijo taking the win in round 4. We're on the podium in P2 and Mick in P3. And then that will see us head into the final round next week. And that is at Bathurst Mount Panorama. It's not to be missed, and it will be the deciding race as well. So keep an eye out for those standings in the coming days as we put them out, because it is going to be very tight for points, and with those huge double points up for grabs for the final round, it's going to make it a spectacular series to finish out on a great track to end the championship for the last one for 2022. So thanks for tuning in, and hope to see you trackside next time.